Maria and I have just been talking about the steps that we take to teach a water class, and it's always so interesting when you compare with somebody else how they go about it. So, I'm going to tell you the steps that I take when I decide to create a new class. So, the class creation process for me is a little bit of a long one. But the first thing that I do is I start with a playlist. The playlist to me and picking the music is where I begin. But I'm going to surprise you a little bit here because the second thing that I do after I've created my playlist, I've picked out the songs that I want to use for my class and I've put it together. It's usually 80s. It's always around about the 80s. I like the 80s a lot. But I will then decide on the concept. So I will decide whether it will be a deep water class or a shallow water class, whether I'll be using equipment that be noodles, two dumbbells, or a single dumbbell, or a kickboard, or it's with no equipment at all. Now, then I then decide what moves that I'm going to do with that concept to the playlist. So I don't choose my playlist according to whether I'm going to do something with dumbbells. I don't think I'm going to do a dumbbells class. Now I need to pick the music. I don't think that way. I go choose the music first, decide on the concept. And that's really important for me in my journey because I'm very linear in that if I'm going to use noodles for the class, it's noodles the whole way through the class.
Mm.
I'm going to use two dumbbells. It's two dumbbells the whole way through the class. And the reason for that is it forces me to be creative. It's not I'm going to use a little bit of noodles and then put them away and then pick them up again because I find that that changeover between getting rid of the noodle and picking up again wastes time, lots of time in the class. And being a participant in many other instructors' classes, I've become aware of how my heart rate drops down.
Mm.
So I go music
Music.
first, class concept, choose one thing that I'm going to do, then I map my music because the way I create my classes is I match chorus and verse to the moves I'm going to do, like a Zumba class, like
Yeah,
a
you choreograph to music. Mm.
choreographed to music. So I then get in the pool. So I have to get in the water because even after 32 years of experience, and I want to come up with something that's a little bit different from anything I've ever done before, I need to get in the water to see if it actually works.
Mm.
I do something else here, which I know most instructors, probably every instructor doesn't do, and that is record it. So I actually video record myself when I'm in the water because I actually like watching how my brain ticks, like watching myself brain ticking, but also it gives me an idea because I talk to the camera, so I don't have to write notes there. I say to the camera, okay, I can't feel it when I do this, but when I push forwards, it feels better. I can feel it in my core. So what I would say here is, push forward, skim back. They're the words I would use. So I'm talking to the camera because that's when I go home. I watch myself both above water and underwater. I know a little bit much. But I write my notes down and I put it on my choreography. Then
Mm.
I practice it because some of the pieces of choreography, once I've created it, so I never know what's going to come out. It's always a surprise. What am I going to come back from the pool with? That's the thing. I never go with any idea about what I'm going to do. I just know it's with a noodle and I'm in shallow water and this is the music track I'm going to
Yeah.
use. I never know what the moves are. Some of the moves need some practice because if they're moves I've never taught before, I might be thinking, okay, how am I going to show this to my participants? And so I'll practice that and then I'll teach it in class. And I'll probably teach it maybe about, I think it's 3 times. And then I decide whether that piece of choreography works or whether I need to go back and rework it because sometimes the things I can do in the water and do very quickly because I know what's coming up next. But teaching it, there's lag time, like Zoom, there's lag time. So sometimes by the time it comes out of my mouth to the way they understand it, and then I have to demonstrate it, it's not that smooth. And I might have to just, clean up the edges a little bit. But once that song is choreographed, it stays with that
Fun.
choreography forever. And that's my process. Maria, what do you do?
Well, similar process to you when I'm teaching Aquazumba. Definitely with Aquazumba, I have to go for the song first. Choose a song that I like, that sounds interesting, that has a good beat. Listen to it several times, understand where everything is in the song. The difference between what you do and what I do after that is I actually then start putting the moves together to the song inland before I go to the water and then try it. See if that choreography that I created inland actually flows well in the water. When I create it inland, I obviously think of the way that I would normally move in the water, of course. Practice it in the water, and then if the transitions work well and everything's smooth and it's effective the way have put the choreography together to that particular song, same as you, done. It's done and it's ready to teach in my classes, and that stays forever and ever. But I don't always teach Aquazumba because I teach three different pools. One is a hydro pool. The other one is shallow, warm water, and then the other one is deep water, cold water. So it comes down to where am I going to be teaching today. So I know that at 9:30 I teach at one pool, 10:30 I teach at another pool. So based on the pool, then I decide the concept. And then if it's going to be not choreographing to music like I do for Aquazumba or like what you do, then I just choose a playlist from Power Music that has a beat all through the same beat all through the playlist, all through the class. Then I decide, okay, I'm gonna be using a noodle today, or I'm gonna be using one dumbbell. Then I go for the concept, make sure that I'm choosing for that particular class. If it's in deep water, come up with a class plan. So I write it down and then go and teach it in my class. Probably not as comprehensive as yours, but for me, the most important thing, apart from delivering a work that is effective in the water, for me, super important is to make exercise fun, because I know that that's the reason why I keep coming back to the classes. So I just try to make it a good experience for everybody, using my visual cues, using verbal cues, interacting with them, giving them thumbs up, a lot of encouragement. And that's roughly me. And I think what Marietta and I want to achieve with this is to start some sort of conversation with you guys. So how do you come up, with your class plan? What are your steps? Is it music first and then concept later? Or is it concept first and then music? Do you choreograph to music? Or do you use the music as a background, but you actually use the beat of the music, which is what I do most of the time? Or you just don't follow the music at all, and it's just music that is there, and you do your moves not on time with the music, which can be for a HIIT class, for example. You're not necessarily following the beat of the music when you're doing HIIT, or you're using a timer or things like that. So what do you think, Marietta?
Or do they even plan? Because
Ooh.
that's been very topical as well. Like a lot of instructors talk about not going with a plan. They don't have a plan at all. They just show up and deliver a class, and that might work for you. And it'll be very interesting to find out how many instructors that they have a preference for that. But having said that, if you are looking for some ideas on exercises that you could put into your class, and it doesn't matter which strategy that you use, whether you use the you go to all the effort that I do, which I don't know if many people do, or you do it similar to Maria and you have that beat in the background, or you have another way of doing it, but you're looking for some dumbbell ideas. We have a great session at the Aqua Immersion.
We do. We have the Aqua Immersion Virtual Conference. Virtual means you can attend from any part of the world. And even if on that day, which is the 11th of September, if you're not available, it's going to be recorded. But we have Ashley from United States presenting Splash toning. And she is going to wow you. She has an extensive experience on delivering aqua classes and training instructors as well, because she does that for AEA as well as for Zumba with the Aqua Zumba program. So you will want to learn not only from Ashley, but obviously from all the other presents that are going to be there on the day, right?
And I think one of the things, if you want to like, what's the benefit of going to the aqua immersion? Well, like Maria said, you don't have to be in a specific location because this is virtual.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, this is if you can't make it on the day and you pay for it and you get the early bird, which is a really reasonable price, you will actually get access to the recordings of the day. So you won't miss out. This is one of the things about going to a live event is that you will miss out. If you can't be there, you will miss out. But I think what I really love about the recordings is I get to watch them more than once and go back, write some notes, but it doesn't disappear after I've left the venue, for example, like a live workshop. And then I suppose if you're looking for that fix, you know what I'm talking about, the fix of, being in a community and just talking shop and talking aqua, the aqua immersion is a great event to do that with. We get lots of instructors, they like to talk to each other. We really encourage it. We encourage that conversation. And of course, you get to get lots of great tips. So we hope to see you there at the aqua immersion on the 11th of September. mygroupmove.com, and if you're smart, you're going to book in for that early bird price, which ends on the 11th of August. So make sure you book in early, and you get a choice of keeping the recordings, or if you like the cheaper option and you just want to have the recordings for 30 days, that's there. But it's very, very, very affordable, and you don't have to be there on the day to be able to get access to this great event.
That's correct. See you there.